The other day, I shared a tweet thread from a woman that was talking about Igbo misogyny. She said there's no misogyny like Igbo misogyny, and I shared her tweet thread with her experiences. And when I did that, it made the other ladies come out in full force to the point where this woman jumped in my inbox and gave me a whole story time. So I'm going to do her story time and I'm going to follow up with some of the comments from the other ladies on my post. Before I jump into her story time, there is a trigger warning for violence. She says, "Oh my God, I was watching your video about Igbo men and their misogyny. I had to stop because of the PTSD. I'm Igbo, and my dad is Igbo. His brothers have told me to my face as a child that I had no inheritance from my dad, that my brother would get some and they'd get the rest. I had enough one day and kicked one uncle out the house and locked the gate behind him. A family in the village was thrown into poverty once the husband died, simply because he had all girls and his brothers took all his money and land. The girls were children, so they couldn't go to school anymore. They literally stole from me, stole my shoes and wore it around. Even his mother would go through my mom's stuff and steal from all of us, except her precious big head son. My uncle stole my camera and perfume, and when I called him a thief, he beat me up, closed fist punches and all. You know how people say, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy? I wish it all on him," plays Kendrick Lamar, Meet the Grams. She says, "I can laugh now because my dad is beyond broke, so they split dust between themselves. LOL. They've tried to contact me and I've blocked them everywhere. I don't know about other ethnic groups, but from the little I know of Igbo men, misogyny is baked into the culture and they're proud of it." She continues, "I just remembered my dad's mom was there when her son, my uncle, was beating me up. She didn't stop him, but came to me later to reprimand me for calling him a thief. She said she was the one who used my perfume, not him. I think she was lying to A, make him look less bad, and B, make me feel guilty so I'd go apologize to him. I cut her off and told her she was even more useless than him if she watched him beat me up for thievery. I was about 13 and the uncle was mid to late 30s at the time. In my opinion, he is a wild beast that needs to be chained up somewhere for his violent outbursts against women. He beat up two other people in the short time he was with us, a woman and a girl. But what do I know? Of course, my dad did nothing. They're all just as bad as each other." She says, "I repressed all of this and honestly forgot it happened, but it's all coming out now." And then I asked her, "Are you okay now?" She says, "I'm much better now. I've gone no contact with all of them, including my dad. Been thriving ever since." This is how things will change. Things will change because girls grow up to be women, and women have the opportunity, if they're financially stable, to walk away. Right now, we're at a point in life where women and girls they're okay with going no contact and cutting out dysfunction, abuse, and all of that. And that's how things will change. Will this woman, if she does decide to have children, will give a different kind of upbringing than what she was brought up with. This story is challenging, I know, but things will definitely change. Generic YouTube channel says, to my fellow Naisha says, don't worry, it's not just your brother. I have three of them on the podcast bro to mouth breathing MGTOW zealot spectrum as well. Move in silence and don't bother trying to convince these people. Melanated says, I'm also from the motherland, Naisha, and my brothers are also red-pilled manosphere. We were raised in a two-parent household, both our parents old and still married. Being raised in a two-parent household doesn't guarantee these sons are being mentored and raised properly. I had to block one of them. He has a few talking points that red-pilled manosphere, and he thinks that because he's a lead software engineer, it makes him better than women, and he thinks he's the prize. He brags about his Black friend who traveled to Germany and married a white woman. He's way over 30 years old and too immature to get married. He has an ex-girlfriend. Since then, he's been trying to talk to women and date online, and it's not been going well for him at all. And hopefully, he will continue to have zero success. Hopefully, he will just continue to just strike out. The content creator Risha made it to my comment section. She says, "Thank you so much for sharing this, hun. They are still crying in my mentions. They can go cry to their village people. I don't care for their tears." And because of this, I might need to go back and visit her tweet and see what the tears are all about. Her Shadow Alchemy says Igbo culture in general has bitterness baked in. It's in the way they treat women. It's in the way they treat children who are not theirs. It's in the way they treat the bereaved. I can go on and on. The stemma says my dad has the same attitude. Also, divorced an Igbo man last year who has the same attitude. And obviously, these women who are getting divorced are saying they're not going to put up with this stuff for decades and decades. That's how we should know that things are shifting. Things are changing. The culture will change because women are not going to continue to put up with this mistreatment. Dolce Vita says, I am Igbo, and yeah, the boys are exalted. Listen to this. This is wild. She says, when my dad died, my mom had to shave her head and sit in a cage for 2 weeks while everyone mourned. I wish I was joking. That's crazy. I don't know what that means or why. It's like punishing the woman because the husband dies. That is absolutely crazy. Tessie says, as an Igbo woman, I just knew I would not be marrying an Igbo man. The intense ego and arrogance many possess, as well as being unnecessarily secretive, was a huge turnoff. Let's not even talk about those Yoruba demons. Whew, I thank God I stopped dating them, especially as a financially empowered woman. They love competing with their women. Yeah, I'm seeing that these women, she says, I finally stopped dating them. As more and more women just say, I'm an opt out of things, what are these men going to do? Because women across the board are not accepting this arrogance. And like she said, she is financially empowered. So that means that she can stand alone. And this is one of the reasons why they cannot stand feminists, because they need women that are dependent on them so that the women can't just walk away. So Zizi's is talking about how red pill culture is just spanning the globe. She says it's not just in Nigeria. She says, ooh, it's not just Nigerian 20-year-olds and teens in the diaspora. They're also getting red pilled while still in Nigeria. The patriarchal culture and the pick me boy moms don't help. That's because patriarchy, and the red pill culture and religion all go together. They all reinforce each other. They want women oppressed. They just have a slightly different talking points in trying to use and control women and shame women. But it's all pretty much the same thing. Control women so that men have the upper hand. And women are getting tired of that. But the reason why it's spreading is because women are still doing better. Women are succeeding even despite the oppression in these particular countries, and the men are failing and flailing because of it. Women are pulling back and doing their own thing, trying not to get involved, walking away, and it's making these men become unhinged. All right. Like I said, the women came out. Whenever I talk about a particular country or culture, those women come out and feel like letting me know about their experience. If you want to let me know about your particular experience, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. We'll keep these conversations going because women need to see and understand that what they're experiencing within their culture, within their country, is not an isolated incident. It might just be a slightly different accent, slightly different kinds of foods or whatever, but the experiences, when you boil it down, it still ended up being the same. Let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment,